Hey guys, welcome to Prince of Peace Tarot. I'm Justin, and today I'll be doing a reading for those of you with Sagittarius placements in your chart. So if you have Sagittarius anywhere within your chart, this reading could resonate with you. And if it does, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be updated anytime that I put out a reading. Okay guys, so before I jump into your spread, let's say a prayer. Infinite Creator, Olodumare, to my higher self, my Ori, Eshu, Obatala, to the Egun Marine Laye, Holy Spirit, Spirit Guides, to my benevolent ancestors, known and unknown, Florian Williams, Norman Williams, Exius Willie, thank you for allowing me to source the most accurate reading for those with Sagittarius placements in their chart. All right, guys. Okay, so let's get into this reading. I have your tarot spread to my left, Orisha spread to my right. And guys, you know, the one thing that I always look for when I put down two spreads are repeating cards, because they give the astrology of that card. It means it's a big message for you there. So the sets that we have are Temperance, okay, in the upright and in the reverse. We have Temperance and we have the Guardian Angel, okay. So you guys are heavily protected, and I know that because Temperance also sits adjacent to the star. As far as either ancestors or guides, really, I mean, like, I've been getting a lot of readings like this with strong protection. This is a very important time because what I'm about to tell you is these cycle changes are really important for you all right now, for all of us. But so Temperance, so that is Jupiter, Sagittarius energy. That's the Sagittarius card. Then we also have Eight of Cups. Okay, we have Eight of Cups here and here. All right, Eight of Water, Eight of Cups. So that's the second energy. And then we have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords, Five of Air. Okay, criminal behavior, criminal activity, stealing, theft, somebody behind there hating you, camouflaged enemy, all right? So that's your last card out over here to my left. This is the card at the bottom of the deck to my right. We're gonna start with the Eight of Cups. Okay, so what is the Eight of Cups trying to tell us? The Eight of Cups is Saturn and Pisces. And it's so crazy because I keep picking up Saturn, Jupiter energy because, what is it? We have Saturn and Pisces with the Eight of Cups. Temperance is Sagittarius in its natal ninth house, and Jupiter governs Sagittarius, so that's Jupiter right there. And they keep playing a role about learning and expanding, as well as like limitations, okay? That's a really big deal for you all right now. And this reading kind of piggybacks off of the last reading that I did for you all, talking about like, when am I going to stop meeting karmics and cycles changing? So like I said, for some of you, once you have that awareness of, you know, I'm constantly having these like repeated karmic cycles. When you become aware of that, we said it takes about 3 years for that to stop, right? But I want you to take that same notion, possibly around other endeavors, even outside of love, okay? So we'll get into it though. And remember that 3-year mark really depends on just where you are in it. Like you could have already been started year 1 or year 2, or I'm on year 3 of now I'm about to see a total shift. But it's real important, and this may anger some, I know, but it really is how certain cycles work. We are not only dealing with our own energy, you know, our own circumstances. A lot of our circumstances come about because of astrological energies, because of what our chart looks like. Okay, so this is why I want to get more into the awareness of that, so that you can use these readings more for, is this for me right now? Is this for me in the future, near future? So, you know, you're not wasting your time with what you're listening to or with what you think you are about to receive. Okay, because that's not something I like to do. I like to be able to, you know if this energy is for me in the year, in the next year, next 2 years, whenever, you know, because this could very well happen to you, but the timetable is going to be different. So some of you may want to either, you know, go look at your chart. You may want to book a personal reading with me or whoever you trust, or have someone, have an astrologer, you know, do a chart reading for you. So let's get into this, because the way this repeats, like this is about the 3rd time in between a span of readings that I've done, where this cycle is real important. So cycles are 7 to 9 years. There's something always happening. And I've even looked, some people have responded in comments about like how many years it took for this or that to happen. And I'm not trying to be mean by saying this, but some people never become aware of the cycle they're in because of Eight of Cups energy, ambition. Like, I have to have a partner. I have to have this job. I have to have, so they never recognize the karmic pattern. They only have their drive. So you could end up repeating the same cycle more than once. You end one 7 to 9 year cycle only to start that same cycle again for 7 to 9 years. What I've been reading is, you have to become aware of who you are and how these energies have been playing on you, to you, with you, for you, in order to say, okay, who am I going to be in my next cycle? Right? And if you choose to be something from the past, you can repeat cycles over and over again until the day you die. If you want to, it's your free will choice to do that. But if you don't and you're looking for a change, right now we're in this juncture where cycle is ending and we could do something different. No matter what your age is, this is your time, okay? Because, people always talk about Saturn returns and they only, want to place Saturn returns around your late 20s or, 30, early 30s, like when it returns and that whole Saturn return thing is over. But for as long as you live, Saturn's going to come back around again for you. And again, you have all kinds of returns. You could get certain like returning energies like this for you until your 90s, okay? There are all kinds of cycles. If you live long enough to live through them, you'll see it. But there's always going to be a cycle for you. Always something to close out, something new for you to learn. But let me stop going on about that. Let's get into what Eight of Cups is telling us, because there is something about ambition here, right? And when you want to start something. So here, this is what we have. What they're telling you right now is to observe what you have and have not accomplished. Just observe it and recognize it. Don't judge it. What has happened for me so far? What have I achieved and what haven't I achieved? Okay. So you could write down the things you haven't achieved as something that you want to have for your next cycle. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't blame yourself. Nothing like that. Because honestly, a lot of things that happen to us are in our charts, are astrologically happening. And when we're not aware of them, we don't know how to get around those things. Even if we can, because it's not only our free will and, astrology, it's also karma. We're not even factoring in past life karma as to why certain things happen or don't happen for us, right? So just observe and recognize. Observe and recognize. It says, you have an opportunity at this time to clear away the barriers that prevented you from achieving what you wanted, but this effort will not bear fruit immediately, okay? So I know sometimes in the comments I see people saying like, I've cleared out everybody, and it's not in a bad way. Some of you guys like, I'm glad I know this. I've cleared everybody out. But then you could be left like, everybody's gone. Like, what's next? I mean, y'all told me to clear everybody out. They're gone. Where's my new people? Where's my new job? Where's my new love? Where is it? This says that what Eight of Cups is telling you is that the effort will not bear fruit immediately. And I want to tell you guys, you still put forth an effort. Love doesn't have to be like, if love isn't coming, well, let me keep going out and staying on Tinder or whatever app, Hinge or Grindr or whatever, wherever you meet people. It's not like, let me continuously look. More so, if anything, if you want to draw in a partner, focus on yourself. Make sure that you are at your healthiest, your finances are good, your health is good, and that you're content, like your happiness and you're at peace. That's a great way to keep the effort of pulling in love, right? So this is the end of a cycle, not yet the beginning of a new one. This is why I keep having to say this 999 awareness of a cycle. Like, I was like, why am I having to this keeps coming up? It is because it is the end of a cycle, not yet the beginning of a new one, right? Which is another reason why I was talking about, it could be a year before you meet a new person, 2 or 3 years before you meet that new person. I've recognized, I've, been repeatedly going over and over with these people, but, when is this new person going to come in? When am I going to stop meeting karmics? within this little gap time. It's like this no man's land of time right here, which is about like 3 years, okay? So what it says is, don't fall into despair, because you are more likely to feel guilty and brood about your inadequacies. And they're gonna be what you perceive to be your inadequacy, whether it be the amount of money I'm making, the person I'm in love with, whether my business is going really well, whether I got the best job, or whatever the case may be. You remember, like I told you, don't be so hard on yourself. Some of this stuff, Saturn was holding you back on purpose. Saturn was trying to make you appreciate your efforts, not giving you something too soon. You know, you end up comparing yourself to other people. Why are things working out for them and not working out for me? When it was you not understanding I'm in a different cycle than other people. They'll go through their cycle at whenever time it is for their life, and I'm just going through mine right now, right? So that's what that is. So you may end up brooding about inadequacies or things that weren't achieved. You know, try not to do that, okay, during this time, because you're putting forth effort and you're like, where is everything? You know, when is it coming? So this is a time to clear leftovers from the past and make ready for a new start. And I've been saying this since earlier, well, more towards the fall, even probably in the summer of 2021, about getting prepared, prepare. The thing about this is that these energies want to set you up for success when the cycle starts. You don't want to play catch up. It's not about like, you know, when love comes, you want to be ready for love. You don't want to, you know, be acting the same way or carrying those same traits and behaviors that was pulling in negative people. You know, when here comes somebody really good that wants to date you, love you, and you acting out, you know, or feeling skeptical all the time. It's like, once you trust yourself, I know I could trust whoever's coming towards me who truly loves me, you know? But if you don't take the time to be with yourself, you kind of miss that part, right? So it's allowing you to get rid of leftover, even energy about jobs and different things like that, allowing you to be more prepared for more, okay? Some of you guys, because I've been picking up the energy, you are receiving positions where you felt like, I'm not ready for it, right? But you're there. You're already there. So don't give up. Don't get, what is this? Don't get afraid and quit, okay? Don't be afraid and quit because you feel inadequate about being in a position. See, if you didn't recognize the shift, when it happened, and this is why I tell you guys, prepare. Like, I don't know where each and every one of you are at with closing down the cycle, but it's your cycle of the old bullshit is over. You can only repeat it if you want to repeat it. So it's time to start preparing for something new, right? Like I said, some of you in this wintertime have received jobs that are, you know, that require more responsibility than previous positions you've held. Some of you will start to receive those. Others of you who haven't received one during the winter will possibly receive those kinds of jobs and responsibility summer and spring of this year. So just get prepared for different things like that, okay? And for a lot of you, it could be that the work comes in before the love. All right, work before love. All right. So this is a time, excuse me, I already said that. We said that we are ready to make a new start. It says you will feel pressures for tremendous changes, both in the direction of your life and in the manner of proceeding in that direction. Okay, I'm going in that direction. How do I need to act and behave in order to keep heading in that direction, right? Okay, it says, heed the pressures, for they are the first signs of the new order that is about to begin in your life, okay? So, like I said, I remember when I had broke up with my ex, and then I started just being more spiritual and getting into the spirituality that I wanted to get into, okay? You know, learning more about Ifa, digging and delving deeper into tarot, just different things like that. Also, when I talked to you guys about being celibate and, you know, having less sex, like normal me is like, you know, I do what I want to do because I'm single. But then there was this pressure of slow it down, not so much, don't do too much. And it's come to me in dreams and different things. And it's really funny because you can misinterpret stuff like that. Like, for me, I was like, well, am I being celibate because my partner I need to be in a certain energy for my new partner. And then I was realizing it has nothing to do with whoever my future partner is. It has everything to do with me and my learning, you know? And we can confuse that when we're confusing, why don't I have somebody? And why am I, you know, coming across all these negative people and then I can't, you know, have sex the way I want, at least what was going in my mind. And those were two different things. All right. One, me getting my vibration a little bit higher has nothing to do with so I could be good enough for somebody else. I need to be good enough for myself. All right. For who my future self is, my very near future self. OK, because I'm moving like everyone into a new cycle. All right. But the issue is if I misinterpreted it and was thinking, am I being celibate for another person? And then I never see that other person. Now I'll end up saying, well, then I should just have sex with whoever I want to because that person isn't around, misinterpreting why I need to do a certain thing. So try not to, whatever you feel called to do, try not to like figure it out. Why, you know, are you making me do this? Because it's saying, heed the signs, for they are the first signs of the new order that is about to begin in your life. Like, whatever they tell you to do, and I know, you know, that's like, this is not good enough for some people, just do it. Just do it. Be obedient. Be obedient, because it's really important that you don't, because it could be that they're protecting you from a certain thing. I remember I was reading an article and it said that like syphilis in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago, had gone way up. Okay. Now I know from the time when I was doing me, if I ever came across, you know, a dude, a black man specifically, that was either gay or DL that got down like me, more than likely they always lived on the south side. And I don't know what that's about, but when I read that article, I'm like, it's funny that I am being more to myself and not dealing with a particular, like my regular, you know, thing, because I could be in danger of, you know, contracting something. And that's the other thing. Like, I feel like I was talking to somebody about domestic violence, STDs and stuff like that have all like gone up, surge of that when the pandemic started. So that could be another reason why God was telling me, hey, you might want to slow down in this area because things are looking negative. There's a negative outlook around, you know, around this time. So slow it down. You never know why God is speaking to you or telling you to do something. You don't see everything, right? So you just have to trust, okay? So it says, and then too, right, for a new order. I'm literally only speaking about, when I'm talking about celibacy and stuff like that, that's my life. Whatever this pressure you feel that Saturn is doing for you to don't do this, don't do that, just go with whatever that is, because it could be something totally different for you. All right. Okay. So it says you will go through a new cycle of defining individuality within yourself and with respect to others. It says cut your losses, if any, and look forward rather than backwards. So certain things that you can't recover, you just let it go. Let it go and look forwards instead of backward. Even though you don't have your brand new future right in front of you, stop thinking about the past. Okay, with this like 5 of Cups energy that we have in your spread, stop thinking about the past. You actually have somewhere you're going. And the other thing about, you know, things manifesting quickly, I see that right here, because I feel like right now, some of you like need a vacation or a break, because what you're waiting on is destined with the star, 3 of Wands. What I'm waiting on, my ship to come in, what is destined for me, I'm tired of waiting, so I'm walking away. Now, in the upright, this could be a bad thing, saying like, hey, don't leave your post, don't leave, you know, your effort for the things you want that you've been working so hard for, just because it's a little weight, especially because even next to the star is the Hangman, right? Don't leave it, or take a break for it and come back to it. You'll know for you. Some of you all might need a total break, maybe a month, maybe less, maybe a week for a little vacation, just to regroup yourself and figure out, like I said, you're going back over your efforts. What have I put forth so far? What have I achieved? What haven't I achieved? And when will be a better time to start? Because some of you all want to start really big projects, and you may find like, yo, this is taking longer than I thought, or this requires more education. Okay, because that's what this Jupiter energy could be saying. It just requires a little bit more, and it's not going to be as soon as I thought it was. Okay. Also, The other thing about Saturn in Pisces is confidence. All right. This energy could make you feel a lack of confidence, either from past experiences or because of I don't have what I have yet. There's something, this inadequacy stuff really will get to you. So there's something about humility, sympathy, and increased intuition. Now, this humility could be because I'm humble because I've learned to deal with life without having everything I want. Or, I've always recognized that, there are tough times and people go through things worse than what I've been through. So who am I to complain? So there's this level of humility here, sympathy, but there's an increased intuition. That's why it's really important to take heed of those pressures or intuitive nudges to go a particular place. Even if that thing doesn't somehow come into fruition right then and there, go anyway, because it's leading you towards your new cycle, right? So it says you may feel like you have, very little confidence. And sometimes during this time, you could be disproportionately modest. So that's why in previous readings, I did a career spread, and sometimes even in your tarot spreads, I'm telling you guys, you need to stand out. You need to be seen and shown. This is a really good time for those of you who are communicators, writers, speakers, singers, whatever it is, whatever your message is. So if you feel like I need to have a YouTube channel about something, whatever it is, create it. Or I need to be on some social media platform talking about my experience. You should do that now. Even if you're like, well, I don't have a lot of followers or I don't have a lot of subscribers. Trust me, as soon as your window occurs, there will be people ready to listen to whatever it is you have to offer, read whatever it is you have to offer. Okay. So if you're planning that, this is a good time to get going on that. Okay. But take your time. This is not a rush because, again, like I said, you may not see the fullness of this big idea, because the weird thing about this is this pressure to do is like overwhelming. And then when you do it, you're like, but nothing happen. So for instance, thank you to everybody out there who's tuned in to my tarot cast, right? But it's not at 1,000 subscribers yet. And right now, I'm a little blocked on what my next episode is going to be about. But before that, I was literally getting dreams and feeling pressure to get it going. Okay? So when I start dreaming it and seeing it, I was like, okay, let me hurry up and do something. I mean, I may not have it. It may not look like what I want or sound completely like what I want, but I better start it because I feel the pressure. So I did it. Now, just because it's not at 1,000 subscribers right now, or anything like that. And first, literally, thank you, all of you all who are listening, watching, tuning in, subscribing. Thank you. And I'm definitely going to post more. What I'm saying is that I can't just say, okay, well, let me give up on that. Because I don't know what I was thinking. Were they fooling me? Were they trying to trick me with that? Like, why isn't everybody into my new tarot cast channel? Like, what's that about? Okay. No, let it be where it is. If I need a break, take a break, to kind of come back and think of what are my next episodes going to be about, So it's like that. I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We're going to leave the baby where it is, okay? And we're going to come back to it. We're going to keep coming back to it, right? So you may have something like that, like a project or something like that, where it's like, okay, well, I mean, I did it, felt all this pressure, but what is it doing, right? So don't feel like that, okay? Be confident in the things that you get going and are starting to do. You may be very inclined to hold back. Don't do that, okay? It's time to go forward. Speak, all right? It says, so this inclination to hold back is making you way too modest, which we talked about, and increasing shyness and inhibition, okay? It says, sometimes this can make your outlook on life feel a little depressing, and under stress, you may have the inclination to give up hope, okay, when things get real stressful for you. It says right now, you have a strong imagination and a strong intuition. Strong imagination and strong intuition. So use it creatively, give it shape, make it concrete, okay? Figure out how you're gonna make something real. It's okay, you can stop dreaming about it, you can start making it real. And just because everybody's not flocking to it now, doesn't mean they won't be flocking to it later, and you'll be glad that you started when you started. Some things we have on our mind, we need to practice them out before they turn into exactly what we want them to be. When I was watching the last episode of Insecure, they did this behind the scenes 1 hour thing of it. And it was how Issa Rae thought that the show would be centered around We Got Y'all, right? We Got Y'all was the place that she worked at, in the beginning in season 1. And what they ended up finding was they said, no, where the show is really around is you and Molly, her friend in the show. Like, we're going to base the rest of the show off of that. So here Issa Rae has all of this content and all these characters and, the way she wants their lives to be and how it all plays out. And then it totally changes. We sort of just shift everything, shift the narrative to not about We Got Y'all, but about these two women being best friends, making it, but she wouldn't be able to shift if she didn't already have a story laid out. That's what I mean by that. Don't give up on what you create, because it may change when your cycle changes, but you want to have something. You want to have something. You don't want to go into the cycle with nothing, right? So that's why you don't need to lose hope and find despair. What you have is right. What you have is right. It's just, you got to have something though. Don't be lazy. Don't just leave it. You can walk away from it for a second, but come back to it and keep feeding it, right? Okay. The other thing is what the Eight of Cups energy is doing is giving you like a Cinderella effect. So we know that Cinderella's stepmom bashed her. Her stepsisters bashed her, did her wrong. But in the end, what happened? Cinderella ended up with the prince. This is the same energy of Eight of Cups. What Eight of Cups is trying to tell you guys is like, you remember how harsh Cinderella had it? You may have felt like that, okay? Well, these people who don't measure up to you in heart or in effort or in anything like that, like, why are they making it? Why do they got it easy? I'm over here suffering. I'm struggling. I'm over here. I feel like I'm cleaning the boots of my enemy or whatever, is the case. Is saying, but remember in that story, things turn around. The fairy godmother comes in and changes things. Things just start to change for the better, okay? She ends up in a palace, no longer having to worry about, being put down, right? She becomes the person she's truly supposed to be. That is what's going to happen. Remember, do not fall into despair. Whoever your prince, princess, charming, and I'm not even talking about love, I'm talking about that thing, her prize was her prince in this castle, but your prize could be something totally different. You're going to get your prize. You will have your prize, okay? You didn't go through all those hardships for nothing. You learned a lot and it humbled you because you're going to be put up in such an elevated position that your humility makes you more humane, okay? To whom much is given, much is required. And it's easier for you to manage this stuff because you've been down and you're going to be up. But you got to accept that I'm going to be up when it's time, okay? All right, so yes, that's what we have. So let's move on to this Jupiter energy, okay? Jupiter in the 9th house, Sagittarius energy, okay? In its natal 9th. All right, so this is a good time to become involved in human potential effort, okay? Some conscious raising group. So some of you, we've been talking about this, might find yourselves getting into different groups, getting involved in expanding your consciousness in some kind of way. It says pick the one type of conscious raising group that is most suitable to you, okay? Again, Jupiter calls out the same thing that Saturn and Pisces calls out. It says this is a good time for writers and communicators, okay? It says share your story or your experience. Your views of life will change, okay? At this time, what Jupiter is going to do is change your views of life. Okay, as you expose yourself to the broader world, to different things outside of what you've done in the past, okay? It says this transit is maturing you. It's a maturing transit because Saturn could have almost made you feel immature because it's like, well, I didn't get to participate in a lot of things that everybody's done. I haven't done it. You know what I mean? And now I'm like sort of playing catch up, but it's not a bad thing. I was listening. There was this one guy who said, I don't even know what I was listening to. I don't know if this was Instagram or YouTube. He said that because I was in jail, I still had the mind of a child. So my imagination was very active. He said, I didn't get to go through what a lot of people go through, becoming adults, constantly being told no or having a door shut on me. He said, I'd never had to go through that. So when I got out and started my thing, my imagination was bigger because I didn't really know what those limitations were, right? And I was able to create whatever it was he was creating. I can't remember. But this is sort of that energy of where I was held back. Now I'm going to be given the opportunity to know it all. Further things, anything that I was held back from, that's what I'm going to be able to experience. Money, love, relationships, positions of leadership, anything like that. Now you're going to have your opportunity. But don't let the holding back, that fear that Saturn caused you from before, stop you from going into what Jupiter is trying to offer you. Okay? So this is a maturing phase for you. So let's take on these responsibilities because they're good things, right? It says this, be careful. This transit is a maturing transit. If you think you already have all the answers, this transit will make you smug or self-righteous, which would be a terrible waste of energy. Thinking you know it all, thinking don't nobody know my story, they don't deserve that, just weird things like that. Like don't have some nasty attitude towards learning, or even being vulnerable, being in vulnerable positions. Okay, don't be self-righteous. Right now, you're going to have a chance to learn. That's another reason why I said about finding certain karmics on the road that you can't get around. And I was saying earlier, like, if I see that they're like stupid, why I got to deal with them? Self-righteous. That was a self-righteous sort of response. And then when I told you, when I put that pendulum down and it kept going, misunderstandings, that's what it is. Your self-righteous attitude, my self-righteous attitude would have me misunderstand why I'm meeting a particular person. Okay, so the likelihood that you will become increasingly involved with a foreign person or foreign lands, either in business or your personal life, is more likely to happen now, especially because we're talking about the 9th house. So like I said, some of you guys will be traveling more or dealing with someone of a different background from you, something totally different. The main effect of this transit is to make your consciousness grow so much that you no longer live with your old prejudices and beliefs. You must know rather than just believe. So this transit is making sure you know something for sure rather than having some sort of blind belief in the things of the past. Because literally with Saturn limiting you the way it does, you have formed beliefs that aren't necessarily true. It was true for that time and now it's different. Anything is possible with Jupiter. That's hope and faith. That's the star. Anything is possible. Even though it's a little delayed, it's still possible. It's still possible, right? Okay. Now, the one card that we have here that I'm like, what the hell? What was this about? Is this 5 of Swords energy. 5 of Swords energy of the 5 of Swords. What it is Venus in Aquarius. Now, this would be the groups again, okay? Because that's radical thought, changes, the future, different ideas, really like, grassroots thinking, whatever it is, and getting along with everybody, because that's what Venus does, right? But the fact that astrological alignment of Venus and Aquarius, or Venus in the 11th house, is matched up with the 5 of Swords is like so contradictory to me, because 5 of Swords is theft, stealing, camouflage enemy, right? So when you're joining these new groups and getting involved with these new people, be careful. Be careful. I always pick up jealousy for you guys a lot, so much so. So, when you're finally being able to flex and do the things that you're good at, know that, there will be people in the background who are hating, who may have very ill intentions. We even have the 10 of fire in reverse. So you're still being tested. Saturn is still testing you from situations that you've, gone through in your last cycle. But they'll come up again in this new space. You're like, picture yourself in a new space of limit, but also potential, excuse me, limit and then potential to learn a whole lot. And by the time you pass through it, new cycle. Putting in effort into new endeavors as they grow slow or grow fast. But then as you pass this cycle, even bigger growth or exactly where it needs to be, you know? This is that little space you're going to be in. But while you're in it, you're definitely extremely protected because the guardian angel says so. The reason why is because with the Eight of Cups energy, you're more than likely, if you don't see something happen fast, you're more than likely going to sabotage yourself. But that's why your angels and guides are giving you strong dreams and intuitions and constantly sending you angel numbers. It's not to tease you, because I used to think that I'm like, damn, you are really teasing me and I'm waking up to the same shit. It is to say, hold on, it will change. I'm not teasing you, it's going to change, okay? So let's get into this reading. All right, so we got Temperance. We have the Three of Wands, Three of Pentacles, Hermit, okay? Now, for whatever time this is for you, I know a lot of you may want to leave your job. I can see that because this would be the moving on, starting something new. Three of Pentacles is work, and this is Hermit, journeying on by yourself. Trust your intuition and trust your guides as to when to leave, okay? When to start something new. Don't be afraid, because this Three of Wands with the Hermit tells me that, like, you are going to come up with the best ideas by yourself. It's like you have these very forward-thinking, could seem eccentric to some sort of ideas, and that you need to feel comfortable enough to get that out and to start it without having other people naysaying and going against you. So do your own thing by yourself if it calls for that, you know, or leave that job and start your own thing when it's time and you're ready. Like in that space, make the effort to create a new business for yourself. So when the cycle comes and if this business is doing really, really well, I can finally quit my job, kind of thing. All right, so second row, we got the Five of Cups, we have the Star, we have the Hangman, Ten of Swords in reverse. You're healing and you're taking your time to heal. You actually need time to heal. Some things in our past were very, very painful. And we're trying not, this is, remember, we said we want to focus on the future, not the past. And we're trying not to bring these swords into the next cycle. Because the Star, you're going towards your destiny. You're going to a new place. So we don't want to carry this over. This is a regret. The regret from past hurts. They're still affecting us. And that's okay, because that's normal. I mean, we're humans. We carry that pain, and what we're going to have to do is just release it. And if you want to release it, you can. But if you want to hold on to it, it's just going to cause you more problems, right? So don't worry about the time it takes, okay? Trust me when I tell you, you will make it to your destination. So long as you are consciously trying to heal, okay? And every day isn't a day of, oh, I need to heal. You're going to have really good days, and some days when it comes up, it's going to be like, oh, there it is again. Like, oh, that whatever triggered me or whatever it was, it's still there. I still need to work on it, okay? It's not like every single day releasing and healing and, you know, burning candles and, you know, taking salt baths. If you want to do that, okay, but, you know, find joy in other things, you know? Healing, sometimes if you are working in the things you love, that will cause you to heal. It will definitely cause you to heal. Now, your last row, we have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. We have the Eight of Cups in the upright, the Emperor in the reverse, Five of Swords, okay? Now, Page of Pentacles is dissatisfaction, you know, not learning a certain thing, but I really feel like dissatisfaction here, and that's why you're walking away from something, okay? This could be a particular person, or it could be talking about your own structure. It could be talking about the thing you're building, like I was mentioning earlier. But when I have the Five of Swords next to it, this feels like a person you can't trust, okay? When we get here, when I get to that Five of Swords, this feels like a particular person you might not be able to trust. Now, remember, we have this energy of raising our consciousness and joining conscious expanding groups. All of us are not going to have a kumbaya experience when we meet new people in these conscious raising groups. And maybe the leaders of those groups might not be as nice as we think. They could be sort of criminal, okay? Or come with some sort of conflict. Be prepared to possibly come across a particular person like that. I've mentioned this before in readings, and it's a very strong energy of like a boss figure, but this is a brat. This is somebody who is also like not a true leader, you know? Because even here, I swear there's so much protection around you when it comes to love and people. It's got to be careful Here, Ace of Cups in reverse is like the Ace of, this is Ace of Water, which is like the Ace of Cups. This could speak about lies, okay? Imposter, all right? And then with the 9 of Air in the reverse, this is envy. This is extreme envy, okay? Because they're trying to shoot this bird down. In the reverse, extreme envy, all right? Eshu is here in the reverse, and this is somebody who is unfaithful. When we have Eshu in the reverse, somebody who is unfaithful, you know, Eshu will take the boulder or the block out of the road for you, and I feel like this is somebody who would put a block within your road or pathway, okay? Someone very jealous. Do not fail your test around this person, because coming across this kind of energy is going to be a test, but honestly, it's going to, and then it's going to feel like love, but it would be lies, because we have an Ace of Cups in reverse. There's no love there, all right? For whatever reason, this person is on some BS. Don't let anybody take your ship down. Remember, the same ship you're waiting for is coming, so don't let anyone get in the way of what's coming to you. Don't let over ambition, like I gotta have a mate, I gotta have this work out, you know, whatever my endeavor is, this person has to help me do this thing. That could take your ship down and take all the cargo with it, everything you were waiting for, all right? Because there is some sort of hidden enemy. So please be on your P's and Q's. Saturn energy is here specifically for that, to remind you of the past, to remind you don't get ahead of yourself, to remind you don't know everything. You can't trust everybody, okay? You got to remember everything I put you through in the past to sort of enjoy the future, because it is more protected. It's more protected so you don't lose it, because people will try to take a lot from you. There are swindlers, frauds, scammers all the time, always looking. What did they say about the devil? I roam the earth seeking whom I can devour, right? People have the right to roam. If it's their free will to try to take from what's yours, they'll do it if you let them. But this energy of Saturn is holding you back so you can learn and not get a lot taken away from you, or anything at all, period. So you have nothing taken away. I'm trying to tell you, your angels, your guides, your ancestors are here, but you got to listen to them. Listen to them and trust them. Trust them. Trust them when they tell you to start something, even though it's not going all the way. Trust them when they say, leave that person alone. Trust them, because in the future, it matters. All right? That's the reading that I have for you. So if it resonates, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be updated anytime that I put out a reading. If you want to book a personal reading with me, the link to book is in the description box below. The current Patreon playlist is also in the description box below. Guys, the link to my tarot cast is in the description box below. Prince of Peace Tarot Cast. Check out the new channel. I'm going to make the next group reading next week, Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that day is, give me one sec, guys. Next week, Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, that is going to be on the 18th, all right? So be looking out for my patrons. Look out for the Zoom link that I will post over on Patreon. Guys, if you want to participate in the group reading, please join Patreon. If you want to book a personal reading too, the discount for $65 is still in effect. So guys, go ahead and take advantage of that if you still want to do that. Okay, that's what I have for you. All right, see you later.